So if we take a look at some of these commands here that we were seeing, just exploring what happens when we try to do things like transform a string, and a string is going to be some kind of text that is in quotes, or try to do numerical operations like an add with a string, and asking if a number is the same as a string. And there are two different ways we can ask. We can ask with this equal equals, or we can ask with this equals equals equals. And I put this into, you can type it in or copy and paste it in. I'm just experimenting here, and I wanted to see what goes on, so I pasted it into my little test file in Atom, and I'm going to make sure that I saved it, and then I'm going to come into my browser, and I'm going to reload that file and see that it has my little console.log statements in there. And somebody said sentences, and it's like that. They are instructions. And see what the output is. And down here, I can see that, wow, if I asked JavaScript to take a string like hello and apply a transformation to it, like to uppercase, it really doesn't. It makes it all uppercase. And ultimately, that may be something that you can use to make data like strings all consistent if there's some uppercase and lowercase and that kind of thing. But for right now, we're just exploring to see, what happens if we do this? The other thing that came up is, what happens if we try to do a numeric operation on a string? Well, guess what? There's this issue with data types that's going to come up, and a string is not the same thing as a number, and there's going to be what's actually called coercion involved to actually form some kind of an expression that'll make sense. And since we can't add a number to a string very easily, this actually concatenates that 3 and 4 and makes it a 34, which could be problematic if you're doing numeric computation. The other thing that came out here was asking if a number 1, 2, 3 was the same as a string 1, 2, 3. And this is fairly significant. It seems like just a tiny little detail, but this can get you if you're not careful when you're doing your coding, and costs hours and hours and hours of time, which can be pretty expensive when it's your time, or if you're paying a developer to do it. The equals equals actually says, hey, yeah, in terms of, looking at them, they look a lot alike, but the triple equals, which is probably what you want to use to establish equivalence, isn't just about what they're looking like, but it's about their data types. And so that becomes an important and significant thing to think about. So that's just a little bit of playing with this code. We'll play with a little bit more here, but this kind of routine of being able to play with something that's in Atom, in just an HTML file, load it into your browser, and to explore it is what we're trying to get after here. It's the how you code, and we're going to learn about what code is doing too.